Hello fellow gardeners and composting enthusiasts, welcome back to the Humus Heritage YouTube channel. If you're here, you've probably experienced the frustration of watching your carefully curated compost pile become your dog's personal playground. You're not alone. Whether you're a seasoned composting veteran or just starting your soil building journey, managing a compost pile around curious canines is one of gardening's most persistent challenges. Today, we're going to transform that chaos into harmony, protecting both your precious compost and your beloved pup. Let's dig in. Decoding the canine compost craze. Why dogs can't resist. Your dog's fascination with your compost pile isn't random mischief, it's driven by powerful natural instincts and irresistible sensory experiences. Compost piles emit pungent aromas that are absolutely intoxicating to canines. The fermentation process, the decomposing food scraps, and the rich organic matter create a smell profile that, honestly, just screams treasure to your four-legged friend. To a dog, your compost pile represents an unlimited buffet of forgotten goodies, mysterious textures, and tantalizing smells that beat kibble every single time. Beyond the nose appeal, there's a texture and taste adventure happening in that pile. Dogs are naturally drawn to digging, and compost provides the perfect medium combined with the promise of hidden rewards. Those decomposing bones, rotten fruit pieces, and fermented scraps feel like prizes waiting to be discovered. It's the ultimate multi-sensory experience for a curious dog, which is precisely why your well-intentioned open pile becomes such an irresistible target. However, this seemingly innocent snacking can quickly turn dangerous. When dogs consume compost, they're exposed to a collection of serious health hazards that many gardeners don't fully appreciate. Tremorgenic mycotoxins from mold growing on decomposing foods can cause severe neurological symptoms and potentially life-threatening seizures. Ethanol toxicosis develops when fruits, sugars, and grains ferment in the pile, essentially creating a small-scale alcohol problem for your pup. Additionally, common compost ingredients like onions, garlic, raisins, grapes, chocolate, and coffee grounds are directly toxic to dogs, even in small quantities. Beyond these chemical hazards, your dog risks choking on bones, corn cobs, and avocado pits, or suffering from bacterial infections from E. coli and salmonella lurking in the decomposing material. Understanding why compost matters to your garden is equally important. That nutrient-rich, dark, crumbly material you're working so hard to create is the foundation of thriving soil. It improves water retention, promotes beneficial microbial life, enhances soil structure, and provides slow-release nutrients that plants crave. When your dog disrupts your compost pile, they're not just spreading mess, they're undermining the very foundation of your garden's health and productivity. The solution isn't to abandon composting or relegating your dog to the house. Instead, we're going to implement practical, effective strategies that keep both thriving. Building the Fort Knox of compost physical barriers that actually work. The first and most crucial defense is creating a physical barrier your dog simply cannot breach. An open compost pile is essentially an invitation, so your first step is to invest in or build a secure containment system. Commercial compost bins come in various styles, from tumbler designs to stationary containers, and, honestly, many are specifically engineered with pest prevention in mind. These bins feature locking lids, sturdy construction, and design elements that make dog access extremely difficult. While they do require an initial investment, they really pay for themselves through the security and efficiency they provide. If you're, the DIY type, you can build an exceptionally dog-proof compost bin from materials you likely have access to. A wooden frame constructed from treated lumber and covered with sturdy wire mesh or hardware cloth creates a formidable barrier. Secure the mesh with bolts rather than staples, which dogs can tear free. Top the entire structure with a heavy plywood lid weighted down with a brick or concrete block. The key is making entry so inconvenient that your dog just moves on to easier entertainment. The strategic placement of your compost pile is equally critical. Positioning it away from your dog's favorite play areas, visible sightlines, and pathways reduces temptation and minimizes interest. The absolute best location is behind a separate fence or in a dedicated garden area that's physically separated from where your dog spends most of their time. If that's not possible, place it as far from your primary dog zone as practical, while still maintaining convenient access for your gardening routine. Elevating your bin on concrete paving stones or heavy-duty mesh prevents burrowing animals from tunneling underneath, addressing a common vulnerability that honestly many gardeners overlook. This single step eliminates an entire access point that determined diggers often exploit. Sensational deterrence and training, making your pile unappealing. Beyond physical barriers, you can actually use sensory deterrents that discourage canine interest without causing any harm. Since dogs have, extraordinary olfactory senses, certain scents genuinely repel them while still remaining pleasant, or at least neutral to humans. Essential oils like eucalyptus, citronella, and peppermint are natural dog deterrents. Just soak cotton balls in these oils and place them strategically around the perimeter of your compost area. You'll need to refresh them every so often as the scent fades, but honestly, this simple approach often provides meaningful reinforcement alongside your physical barriers. Training your dog to respect the compost boundary is an investment that pays enormous dividends. Begin with basic obedience work, reinforcing commands like leave it and stay out, specifically around the compost area. Use high-value treats and enthusiastic praise whenever your dog successfully ignores the compost pile or moves away on command. The goal here is to create positive associations with avoiding the area, making good behavior intrinsically rewarding. Consistent patient training transforms your dog from viewing the compost as forbidden treasure into simply accepting it as off-limits, much like teaching them not to jump on guests. Positive reinforcement is honestly exponentially more effective than punishment. When your dog chooses to walk past the compost pile without investigating, reward them immediately. Create specific training sessions where you walk your dog near the pile and reward calm, disinterested behavior. Over time, this conditioning becomes habitual. Your dog will develop the automatic response of ignoring the area rather than approaching it out of curiosity. Many gardeners find that this behavioral approach, combined with secure containment, creates lasting solutions where neither component alone would really suffice. Advanced canine compost combat persistence meets innovation. For those dealing with particularly determined diggers or escape artists, advanced deterrent systems become necessary. Motion-activated sprinklers and alarms provide harmless but startling consequences that condition dogs to avoid the area. These devices activate when movement is detected, delivering an unexpected spray of water or a loud noise. Dogs quickly learn to avoid triggering these surprises, and the deterrent effect generalizes to the compost area even when the system isn't active. While more expensive, they're far cheaper than veterinary bills from compost-related poisoning. Low-voltage electric fencing designed for pets offers another option for those with persistent fence jumpers or determined burrowers. These systems deliver a mild, harmless shock that startles without causing injury. Most dogs learn to respect the boundary after just one or two encounters. The psychological deterrent becomes so strong that the fence can actually be deactivated while remaining effective through conditioning alone. Before implementing any aversive training tool, consult with a certified dog trainer or veterinary behaviorist to ensure it's appropriate for your specific situation. A surprisingly effective strategy that many experienced composters employ is creating a sacrifice pile, a separate, less carefully managed compost area designed to redirect your dog's digging instinct away from your primary compost system. This secondary pile can be in a designated digging area where you actively encourage your dog to excavate and explore. By providing an acceptable outlet for their natural digging behavior, you reduce the neurotic focus on your actual compost. Some gardeners report that giving their dogs permission to dig in one specific location dramatically reduces unwanted digging elsewhere. Long-term harmony. Creating a sustainable system. Maintaining your dog-proof setup requires ongoing attention, but the routine becomes effortless once established. Keep your compost pile as unappealing as possible by maintaining strict boundaries on what goes in. Exclude meat scraps, bones, fatty foods, and dairy products that not only attract dogs, but also introduce rapid decomposition and odor spikes that intensify canine interest. These materials are better suited to dedicated bokashi systems or industrial composting anyway. A well-managed compost pile that contains primarily plant matter, vegetable scraps, and yard waste produces far less odor intensity and therefore less canine temptation. Regular maintenance extends beyond composition control. Keep the compost area tidy, with no spillage or stray materials lying around. Store any fresh materials in covered containers until you're ready to add them to the bin. This seemingly small detail dramatically reduces the attractant profile. A dog-proof compost system also serves dual purposes in your garden's integrated pest management. The same barriers, elevated design, and sensory deterrents that keep dogs out also effectively exclude raccoons, rats, possums, and other wildlife. Your investment in compost security pays dividends across your entire garden ecosystem. The ultimate reward for successfully implementing these strategies is witnessing both your dog and your compost thriving in peaceful coexistence. Your furry friend can enjoy the yard without encountering hazardous materials, while your compost system builds the nutrient-rich dark gold that fuels your garden's productivity. It's a genuine win-win that dramatically enhances your gardening experience while ensuring your dog's safety and well-being. If this guide has helped you understand how to create a dog-proof composting system, we'd love to have you join the Humus Heritage community. Please subscribe to our channel for more in-depth gardening wisdom, composting techniques, and solutions to the real-world challenges we face as gardeners. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are struggling with similar canine composting chaos. You might just save them from a serious situation. Drop a comment below sharing your own dog-proof composting strategies and tips. Together we're building a community of thoughtful gardeners who understand that protecting both our plants and our pets makes us better stewards of our gardens. Happy composting, and here's to thriving soil and happy, healthy dogs.